Okay, hi Nino, hi Jason. We're here today to talk about SAP Ventures' announcement of $1 billion in funding. Starting with you, Nino, can you just tell us what exactly is being announced today and what the strategy is behind it?
So we're announcing today the raise, as you said, of $1 billion, which consists of two separate funds. One is a $650 million fund, two for direct later stage investments across the globe, and the other one is the expansion, which we previously announced of our HANA fund, which invests in early stage venture funds such as Jason's funds, from 155 million to 405 million.
And what about the investments in the new SAP Ventures fund? What kind of sizes do you look for there?
So we typically invest anywhere between $5 and $20 million as an initial investment in direct companies from our $650 million fund, and anywhere between $2 and $7 or $10 million as an LP stake in early stage venture funds across the world.
And how many VCs do you have working at SAP Ventures, and what do they cover?
So we have 10 direct investment professionals, 7 of which are in the United States and 2 in Europe, 1 in London and 1 in Germany. And we also have a staff of about 8 support professionals, and we're actually building out a significant team of business development folks. So we're aiming to be about 30 people by the end of next year, roughly a third investment staff, a third business development, and a third operational support.
Okay, so now moving to the HANA Real-Time Fund, which is the fund of funds with a few early stage direct investments as well. Jason, how does that work for you at Earlybird? Do you consult SAP Ventures on each deal?
Well, we don't consult SAP Ventures on every deal, but we typically know what their strategy is, i.e., enterprise, SaaS, B2B cloud, but also a sprinkle of business to consumer. So often those types of investments we make, we know they might be more interested in. We have a quarterly discussion with them, and we, of course, explore opportunities together.
And how did SAP Ventures choose the 10 venture capital firms that are currently funded through the HANA Fund?
We try to partner with the leading venture capitalists in each region, and we had been actually, and we had known the Earlybird guys for a long time from our direct investment activities. We've been actually active since 1996, investing directly across the United States and Europe and really the globe. So we've had actually many great experiences with the team, and we're quite excited to partner with them.
And so there's quite a strong focus on Berlin with both Earlybird and Point 9 Capital in that list of 10. What do you see in Berlin? What's so interesting here?
Well, I'll let Jason comment on that certainly as well, given that he is the local expert. But we think that Berlin has propelled itself to be one of the leading innovation hubs in Europe. Among London and maybe Stockholm, it's one of the most interesting areas with just fascinating new startups and lots of innovative activities. So we're very excited to be here.
Yeah, as Nino said, I think the timing is perfect. I mean, Germany used to have a lot of clusters. For example, Munich would be software or Hamburg for gaming. Suddenly, it's all concentrated itself here, and it's become a bit of a winner-take-all also in neighboring countries. So you see a lot of developers, a lot of business talent coming to Berlin from around Germany. So it's definitely one of those top 2-3 areas where we think we're going to find a majority of our investments from. And in fact, from our last 12 investments out of our latest fund, 9 of them happen to be from Berlin. So, I mean, that's one indicator. And, we have no quota here. There's a fairly high bar of a couple thousand opportunities that we see a year. So I think that speaks well for, the trajectory that the city's on.
And what about other parts of Germany? Maybe starting with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the other couple of investments we've made are, in fact, from around Germany. So, for example, Frankfurt or Munich. So, I think that we'll always be fishing from our peer in Berlin around us. I mean, we just invested in a company in Stockholm, for example, or Paris. But it just so happens that a lot's changed with the German entrepreneur. A lot of them, have role models now. A lot of them, have been through the cycle 1 or 2 or 3 times. I mean, we have a lot more repeat entrepreneurs in our 4th fund than in our 1st or 2nd fund. So I think that, all of that speaks for it's not just going to be Berlin, but I think that, increasingly you're probably going to see better teams coming out of Berlin because of the density of incubators, angels, also institutional grade funds that may not just be located here, but are definitely getting more active in syndicating, especially like SAP Ventures, where they're coming in more in the growth type rounds.
Well, growth type rounds, later stage companies, it's often said that Berlin is something it needs is a few more late stage exits. Do both of you have predictions for where we might be likely to see those and when?
Yeah, absolutely. I think already, probably the second half of this year, you're going to see a small cycle of exits, not just from Berlin, but probably in continental Europe in general. I mean, Nino just mentioned before this interview, the upcoming IPO of some companies in Europe. I think that next year you'll see a lot of funds that are at their inflection point in terms of, more mature companies doing double or triple digit revenue growth with outlook to profitability, which basically puts it into the exit window. So I think that, everybody's sort of waiting, but I'm not concerned at all. In fact, we have a pretty deep visibility into the ecosystem. We're obviously syndicated also with a lot of other funds that are invested in similar assets, and we're pretty optimistic about the next 24 months.
And last question for Nino, how likely is it at this point that the SAP Ventures Fund 2 will do a later stage deal in Germany?
I'm very confident that we will. In fact, not just one. Germany has been an area of focus for us, and we're very excited actually to be here. We're tracking a number of really exciting companies, including many from Jason's portfolio, and we're quite excited to get engaged, and we expect quite a number of investment in Germany out of Fund 2.
Well, we look forward to seeing what happens. So thanks both for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.